I'm Dwight Smith Jr. From Atlanta, Georgia.
I'm Ray Banks, co-founder of the Hubert B. Simmons Museum of Negro League Baseball, better known as the Negro League Ambassador.
My father-in-law was the one that took me to my first Negro League game in Pennsylvania. And I was scared to death because I had heard of terrible things that might happen to these black players if they won the game. You could imagine what was coming out of the mouths of these steel workers, all of them white, trying to beat these Negro League players, but they lost terribly. And I thought there was going to be a riot afterwards, but there wasn't. It was wonderful to watch these Negro League players. They understood their situation and they were not fools. And that's what made a tremendous impression on me, the kindness that they had and the sharing that they had.
Honestly, I didn't know much about the Negro Leagues. I actually got a jersey from Delano DeShields Sr. It was a Philadelphia Stars jersey. Really, I just started hearing about all the stories just like anybody else would, like about Satchel Paige, Jackie Robinson. It got me really ecstatic to learn more about the Negro Leagues.
There was a bill passed. The second Saturday in the month of May is Negro League Day in the state of Maryland. And a lot of people are unaware of that.
Because they did not think that Negro League Baseball had any records. They did have records. There weren't as many as in the white teams, but there were good records that were factual.
They played so much. Sometimes those guys played 2 or 3 games a day, Mr. Smith.
Oh.
And they rode on buses, my friend, and they rode on buses after playing 3 games in one day. They couldn't stop in certain towns because of the color of their skin. So you can imagine how that bus was, with the center of that bus and all. They had to keep moving.
When I was younger, at that time, I didn't really understand about what the Negro Leagues was all about. I would just like I said, hear a lot of stories, and then I would see some videos at school. And it was kind of insane hearing all the stories they was going through, and hearing the bus rides, Mr. Banks says, and playing a couple games, 2 or 3 games a day.
Those guys were so special. Leon Day, very versatile. He not only pitched, but he played every position except catcher. But the versatility of these guys were phenomenal. They played the game. They played small ball. Like Jackie Robinson, when they show commercials of Jackie Robinson, he's jogging back and forth off of first base. He did that to psych the pitcher, and they never seen anything like that before. They were fast. They had their own brand of baseball, and they played a lot of small ball, and they could play it well.
I think the most impressive thing was hearing about how many complete games the pitchers threw back then. That wouldn't happen in this day and age. They would just pitch every day, and then they wouldn't get tired.
But they played for the love of the game. They never had any animosity amongst the other players that they played against at all. They just wanted to play. To them, they were not black. They were ball players who played, American ball players who played for the love of the game.
Fortunately, after all the hard work that so many people have been involved in raising the consciousness of the Negro Leagues, most people now know something about it, which is really wonderful.
We have a website, which is www.smnldinc.org. If you go on that website, you can pull up a lot about the museum, and you can venture even further. Sports is probably the only thing that can bring everybody together, and it has in the past. It brings different races together at a ballpark. And once you leave the ballpark itself, you don't leave that behind. You take that with you. You carry that over, not only on the field, but off the field in everyday life.
I've grown up around a lot of different backgrounds, and I get to learn everybody's culture. So that's a blessing itself. So I would say just love one another, learn each other, and that's the start of making changes in this world.